Thank you very much for inviting me to this very important discussion on the present budget. As he rightly said, we are quickly or consistently recovering from the plight in which we have to go through with our colleagues, with our fellow men across the world. So it is good we have a 12% growth. Technically speaking, it is a low base advantage. It's called low base advantage. So from -8 to +12, we explained it in very detail. So it's good. Economy is growing slowly but steadily. And when I come to the tax collection, I appreciate the effort of the finance minister. He's a new finance minister, young comparatively. And he has done his work to a large extent, because from figures, it's very clear that he expected 1,34,000 crores as the revenue receipt, out of which he could collect 1,29,000. And interestingly, there is a dip in the central transfers, nearly 4,000 crores. If it hadn't been, it would have become 133, very near to his budget estimate. And he's a conservative finance minister. He got 1.29 lakh crores as the revenue receipt. But this year, he's expecting only 1.35. In that sense, he could have expected a little more. But unlike the former finance minister who had more expectations, he's also a good friend of mine who taught me some economic theories and all, since I hadn't learned economics per se. But Balagopal is expecting a plus above the budget estimate next year. That may be his argument or his logic. Well and good. He got that much. And at this juncture, we have to think that what Kerala has to do to have more central shares is a very, very hot subject that has been discussed for ages. All finance ministers, political leaders, and experts are lamenting about the decline in the central transfers through finance commission. It is only 1.92%. I request Gift, how much we lost due to this day. It's not properly stated. I think Joseph will tell us. What's the quantity of money we lost? If we had 3.2% or 3%, at least 2.5%, which is our percentage in the population, what is the quantity we lost through the illogical distribution of taxes to Kerala? I'm not explaining that. And again, coming to the fiscal deficit, as a conservative finance minister, he has obeyed the finance minister of India, 3.5%. Perfect. Not 3.51%. So, from the fiscal point of view, his budget estimate is 3.5%. And as Kannan said, it is 2.5% RD, revenue deficit, which had to be reduced drastically, but it is not that much possible in these years of difficulties. So this is the picture. So my argument is, slowly economy is growing, tax collection has been growing, and why he put all this cess and tax upon it? My argument is, it will hurt his own effort. It is self-defeating. It may defeat his expectations, because the man on the street has started lamenting about his household balance sheet. This year in Davos, even the World Economic Forum used this usage, household balance sheet. So for bettering the balance sheet of the government of Kerala, why Balagopal done a wrong job on the balance sheet of the household? That's a simple question. And my second point is, so concluding this part about taxations, what we have to do politically or socially even to get the right share from the central government. All are lamenting or protesting, everything we are doing, but what we can do really to get more taxes. I put this answer to the audience or to the experts. Coming to the second point of my presentation, I am very much bothered about the plan size. What's a plan size? Not a single rupee is increased in the plan size. It is 30,470. This year, the current year, it was the same number, 30,470. And interestingly, in 1920, it was 30,610. And the next 2 years, it was back to 27,000. What it means? Government of Kerala is not keen about keeping the plan size high. So the argument from the planning board, insiders of planning board, is we are not expending the whole thing, we are only expending 80% or 90%, 30% like that. So why should we increase the plan size? There lies my argument. In Kerala, the practice is approximately 25% of the plant size is considered as the plant size of the LFPs. Prakash is sitting here. He had given an alternative suggestion. He said, you need not depend upon the plant size of the government, state. You devolve a particular percentage of SOTR, state owned tax revenue, to LSC, isn't it, sir? Yes, sir. Because you have said it. SOTR, devolving the percentage of SOTR to LSC. But government rejected it. Now the point is, I had worked in planning board for 10 years, 2 terms. The planning board is fixing the plant size, and thereby the LSGs are getting the 25% of it. What is the logic? The earlier logic was every year plant size will be increasing consistently. For the last 4 years, plant size is stagnant and even decreasing, and LST's devolution regarding the development fund, that is a plan fund, is stagnant, and in 2 years it was lesser than what it was. There were so many reasons to last 2 years because of COVID and so many other things, like disasters and all. But what is the logic of this year? Last year you increased from 27 to 30, even though 30,470. This year, I sincerely expected a 33,000 plant size. 33,000 plant size. Again, what is the relevance of the plant size as far as the marginalized sections are concerned? Especially students have to understand that 10% of the plan size is given as the sub-plan, that's SCP for the scheduled class. It is called Special Component Plan. What has happened? The Special Component Plan has not been increasing consistently for 4 years or 5 years. And 3% goes to the tribal sub-plan. Our tribal population is 1.5% of the population. 8 years ago we had given, or 9 years ago we had given only 2%. Just slightly more than their population percentage. And when I was in the planning board, I'm proud to say that it was increased to 3%. 1% is 300 crores. Even this year, you have to understand. If the plan size had been increased, the marginalized sections would have got more plan funds in their hands. And 50% goes to the LSC and 50% goes to the department. So this is a very, very wrong approach as far as the left government is concerned. So this is my criticism about the plan size and holding the plan size. And as you know, there is a plan B for this government, that is GIF B. GIF B is plan B. But what happened with it is stagnating. Since finance minister is not here, finance minister is very conservative as well as clever. There is a clause in the GIF B Act. It can touch on the petroleum cess. You see how this is enhanced? It's called Social Security cess. But the GIF B Act says government can touch the cess on the petroleum. Whether he may touch, may not touch, that he should see as a disclaimer. And again, the motor vehicle tax. Both these taxes are increased. I'm not arguing, but I am doubting that it may be for taking some money for the GIF B Act. So my presentation is over, but two sentences. In this speech and across our social debates, there is a discussion regarding migration, but it has happened for the last 40, 50 years. But this year onwards, the discussion has changed from migration to exodus. Now experts are thinking there is an exodus trend, and that has to be discussed in detail later. Thank you very much for inviting me.